Hello, welcome back to the channel. I'm Faustina and this is my fiance.
Hello.
Hello, yes. So we did like a little baking montage. We attempted to make brownie cookies. We did forget the egg for the cookies, but they turned out fine and my parents said that they tasted really good. The cookie part is really crummy, but
it still tastes like a cookie, which is like what's important.
And like the brownie is like nice and moist, and then the cookie is like still kind of like crispy and crunchy.
Yeah.
So it's a nice like texture thing. Okay, so we have some questions that I wrote because I don't know, but just to kind of like, I don't know, do like a couples video, get to know us more. I talk about my fiance a lot, so we might as well, you might as well get to meet him. Do you feel like sharing your name?
My name is Anthony.
His name is Anthony.
There
you go.
Formula One.
He likes Formula One. Anyways. Also, if the camera moves, again, my tripod is on my bed, okay? We want to do this comfortably. He's got a bad back. I have bad knees. We're in our early 20s and we have physical problems. Anyways, all right. So let's just get into the questions. I have, once again, my trusty iPad. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So question number 1 is, how did we meet?
We met at work.
Yes, we met at work. I mentioned this in my previous video. We did meet at work. We worked in retail together. And
at a pet store.
At a pet store. Yeah, we worked at a pet store.
I was already working there for almost 2 years.
Yeah, and I had like just gotten there, and I ended up working there for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. But what's funny is that he ended up being one of my bosses.
Yeah, like a month after, not even a month after you got hired. That's when they started to train me to be the new key. Yeah,
and then after he left, because he got another job opportunity, I took his spot. So I like replaced him. But yeah, so we met at work. No, we did not start dating when we were still working together. He was already like long gone by the time we started working together. I still worked at that store, but yeah, we did not start. I know there's a lot of people that are like, don't date your coworkers. I did not. I dated my former coworker.
Exactly, I agree with that. It's different if you work in like a giant like office or like a giant retail place and you like meet somebody from like a completely different department.
Right.
It's like you're not going to work with each other.
Right. And like the store we worked at was small. Like it wasn't like a huge store either.
It wasn't like a mom and pop either, but it was like a chain. It was just a small chain.
Just a small chain store. But yeah, that brings us to question number 2. What were our first impressions of each other? We literally talk about this all the time, and I bring it up all the time like as a joke. But like we were both equally intimidated by each other. I genuinely thought he did not like me, and I
was like, she hates me, like like how is this gonna work?
Right,
because we both have like an insane RBF, especially when we were working a retail job where it's like we really didn't want to be there, especially like long term, which we pretty much kind of there for.
Yeah. I know, and I tell him all the time, like I'm like, oh, so you used to hate me? You used to hate my guts. You didn't want me working there. I always joke with him that I'm always like, you thought I wouldn't last there. And then he would always tell me that it was because he thought I was a high schooler. I'm a year older than him, mind you. All right. I'm 23. He's 22. And oh my God, it's been like, 3 years since we worked there?
4.
Together? 4 years since we worked there. So I was already in my 20s at that point. And he was a year younger than me.
Yeah, I was 19.
Do you see the light flashing? That's gonna piss me off. Okay, lighting change, because my sunset lamp just started like flickering, so I don't know why I was doing
annoying.
That. It's weird. But yeah, he thought I was a freaking high schooler, and I'm like, So you think I look young?
To my defense, I didn't see the applications because I was like the lowest. I wasn't even technically a manager. They were just like starting to train me as the manager. So like I didn't see the applications. All I knew is that we were getting high schooler after high schooler, and then she came in, looks young, so I'm like, here we go again, because we had a high schooler there working already, and yeah.
And he was something. But yeah, I don't know. I thought he was so much older than he was. Like, I thought he was like maybe like 4 years older than me. Because I mean, look at him.
I also had like I had that beard back then.
Oh yeah, he had like a full beard. Sorry, I hit No, you did not look homeless. No, no, you did not. All right. So question number 3: who said "I love you" first?
I did.
Yeah, he did.
By accident. Because I thought you did first.
No, you did. Because, okay, we did this thing with each other where we would say, like, it like, gradually, like, progressed where we would be like, oh, like, I really like you, and I really like you, too. And then, like, I would start saying, I think I'm falling in love with you, and then he started saying, I think I'm falling in love with you, too. And then it progressed even more to like, I'm falling in love with you. Like we would say that back and forth to each other. And then one day he dropped the big L word.
It's because I thought you said it to me first. Nope. I could have sworn I heard that. And so I was like, well, I love you too. And then she was like, what? And I was like, well, I gotta double down. So
yeah, so he said I love you first. And I love that. I don't know, because you never like, how often do you hear of like men saying I love you first to their partner?
To any guys watching? I mean,
as if there are any guys watching.
Probably not.
Unless they're probably gay.
Yeah, I was gonna say no straight ones.
All right, and then question number 4: what was it like meeting each other's families for the first time?
You kind of like gassed up your parents, making them sound like super intimidating. So I was like kind of nervous, but then like, I don't know, I shook your dad's hand, and then like I could tell like instantly, I was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be boys. Because
even when we were still working together and when we were still friends, I would tell him all the time, like, you and my dad would get along. Like, it could just, like, knowing him and like getting to know his personality better and stuff, I was like, oh, this dude would definitely get along with my dad. And he did. Like, my parents freaking love him. And then I met like majority of your family at your cousin's wedding.
Yeah, like all of them.
Yeah, I met like his uncle and like all his cousins and his aunts and all that stuff, and like it was a lot for a little guy like me.
They're right? Loud Italians, loud Chicago Italians. So, but
it was really nice. Like I, of course, I was intimidated because I mean I have like social anxiety, and like I had already met his mom. And no, I met both of your parents like when we were still working together. Yeah,
because they have a dog training business, so they just came into the pet store I worked at. Yeah, to get my discount.
Yeah, so I had already met his parents like briefly, but like I never really like had a one-on-one conversation with them. But when I did like officially, like the first time I ever went to his house and stuff and like officially like met his parents, like I was again shaking in my boots, quivering, crying inside, screaming and rolling on the floor in a puddle of my tears. But it turned out to be fine because my anxiety likes to make things so much worse than it actually is. And I love his parents and I love his family. So, and my family loves you a lot. All right, question number 5. What's one of your favorite memories together? I can name like a few, to be honest, but I think the biggest one for me would probably be when we got engaged. I'm not wearing my ring right now because we were just baking.
I don't want to get that.
I don't want to
get that dirty.
My giant rock dirty. But yeah, definitely when we got engaged, for sure. That was a very, very special day. Which, actually, that's one of the questions on here. What's your engagement story? But we'll get into that later. What's your favorite memory?
To name something different, probably when we went to the aquarium.
Oh, yeah. We went to the Shed Aquarium. That was so much fun.
Love that place.
It was my first time going after like years of not going.
Yeah, because they changed it a lot. It's so nice now. Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous. It's like one of my happy places.
Yeah, that was like our first like big date, like where we went to the city and like, you know, did something together.
Didn't do something like local.
Yeah, so that was really nice. I like that. This is a fun one. These questions are kind of like all over the place, so I apologize. But this next question number 6, who's more likely to be the strict parent and who would be the fun parent? So we talk about having kids all the time, and we've actually had this discussion a few times, but I thought it would be like fun to kind of add this in. But I think we always say like it depends on the situation.
Oh yeah, like strict in different ways.
Yeah, we're both strict in different ways. Like when we talk about having kids, like he'll say something and then I'll be like, or like I'll say something and then he'll be like, you know what I mean? So it really depends like on the situation and like, you know, whatever it may be for our kid or kids, depending on how many we have. So I feel like both of us, we could both be strict at the same time, but then also at the same time be the fun parent and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'd be like more strict towards our daughter and less strict towards our son, just because like I know boys are stupid. I don't know what a girl brain is like because I don't have a girl brain.
I would try to find like a balance. I mean, I know between the both of us, there's going to be a balance.
Oh yeah.
But like I can see, like he talks about like, you know, if he has a daughter, he would like our daughter would absolutely be a daddy's girl. Like she would be spoiled constantly by him. Not that I wouldn't spoil her. I'd spoil her deeply. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we just kind of like balance each other out. Like with like we have a lot of the same views on different things, but like how we go about those views, if this makes any sense at all, it's a little bit different, but like we always are able to find like a common ground between like whatever.
Yeah, we're like yin and yang, just like a good balance. Mm-hmm. Like where I lack, you're there. Where like you may lack, I'm there, kind of thing.
Exactly. Which then brings us to question number 7. How do we resolve arguments / fights?
I would say like a moment of silence followed by a conversation. Like a moment of silence to calm our thoughts down for sure. Yeah. Because we don't want to say anything that'll hurt the other one's feelings. Because what's the point of hurting each other's feelings over something that you ultimately don't want to break up over?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Like it's when we have like our moment of silence, it's basically like giving each other space,
cool
down time, you know, like it's the same as like walking away from the situation so that you can have some time to like regroup and recollect yourself. And so we always do that. And I think a lot of couples tend to forget, like, you know, arguments is still like a form of communication.
Yeah, exactly.
And like if you want
you kind of need them.
Right. If you want good communication between you and your partner, you need to allow yourself to collect your emotions, collect your thoughts, you know, allow yourself to calm down, because like if you're constantly going with how you're feeling, if you're letting your emotions charge you all the time, especially in like those heated moments, it's never going to go anywhere. It's going to turn into a screaming match, and nothing's going to be resolved. So, yeah. And also, like, we don't really fight too much. And, like, even if, like, we fight...
It's
like,
more of a disagreement.
Yeah, more so, like, disagreements and stuff. But, like, even then, like, it's not even...
Yeah, it's just, like, you have a different opinion than me, whatever.
Right.
Who cares?
And, yeah, literally, and then at the end of the day, we're like, okay, anyways, moving on.
Most of the times we'll kind of laugh about it. We'll be like, yes, so what?
Yeah. It's like we'll both, like, kind of, like, look at each other like the cat meme, you know what I'm talking about? I'll insert a picture.
Yeah, pop that up.
I'll pop that up in there.
People are like, what the fuck, what like, cat?
Yeah. But yeah, anyways.
Oh, remember when I did that to you, like, the first time, and you thought I was, like, getting an attitude with you? Because I was just like...
That was one of the first, like, arguments we had. Because, like, he would always go like that to me, and I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, I don't appreciate that. And then he told me it's the cat meme that I'm doing. I'm like, the what? And then he showed it to me, and I was like, "Oh, that one?" Or so since then,
It was a cat at first. You're like, "That's a cat," and I'm like, "Look at its face and ears."
it doesn't. It resembles a cat, but like slightly somewhat of a bear and the abominable snowman.
It's,
you know,
it's like if a taxidermist with like a really fucked up sense of humor made like a taxidermy. They were just like, yeah, this is something for like the Eric Andre show.
Please, but yeah, so you know. Anyways, question number 8. What's your engagement story?
What? So, you were like for a while, like kind of like pressuring me. Well, like it was like more of like a joke. Like it was kind of like oh, because like you already knew I was gonna propose.
Yeah.
You just didn't know when, and I told you I was like, I'm not gonna tell you when. But like you told me, you're like, I need you to prepare me like somewhat. Like you have to tell me like an idea of what you're gonna say, because like you can't just spring this on me. So I'm like, okay. Originally, I mean, this is kind of going into question 9 a little bit, but we were going on a trip, and I was like, oh, I'll do it then. But part of me got a little bit of cold feet because I didn't want to ask your parents while we were on the trip, just because I'm anxious and I'm like, what if they say no?
They wouldn't have said no.
Exactly. Especially like like when I did have that, like after the trip, it was probably like a few days after the trip when we got home. I told Faustina to go upstairs, and her parents were still down there, and I just pretty much told them like, I want to marry your daughter, but in more words than that. And I mean, they were nothing but happy. They were, and it was either, I can't remember if it was your mom or dad, but they were like, finally you asked. Like, we've been waiting. Like, we were together for what? Just damn near a year and a half?
Mm-hmm. A little over a year and a half.
Yeah, because that October would have been 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then it was June.
Yeah.
When I asked, like early June when I asked. And then it was probably a couple weeks after that, I ended up fully I had the ring already. I ordered that a couple days before the trip, I think. Mm-hmm. And then I made sure my parents got it. Yeah. And then I took you to one of like the first dates we had at a sushi place.
Yeah, it was like our favorite sushi place. Yeah. Like we even went there when we were still friends. Mm-hmm. And then so actually he picked me up from work. I already knew that we were going on a date, and I was like, oh, we're gonna go out for sushi.
Oh yeah, I forgot you. You brought your clothes.
I brought my change of clothes, so I
to work.
Changed out of my work uniform. And like I had done my makeup that day, and I was like, oh, like my coworkers were like, oh, you're so dressed up. Why do you look so dressed up? And I'm like, I'm going on a date with my boyfriend. And so I changed and whatever. He picked me up from work, and then we went to the sushi restaurant, and food was bomb. Food was delicious. Yes. And then so, we had dinner, whatever, and then like we were about to head out, and then so when we leave like the little strip mall where the restaurant is, like we turned left to go back home, and then he did not turn left, he turned right, and I'm like, where are we going? And so I told him too, like there's this like this downtown area spot that I told him like there was like a river walk area that I had never been to, and he remembered that, and so he was like, you remember how you told me you've never been to this river walk before? And I was just like, yes. And then he was like, I'm gonna take you there, and I was like, so you remember the things that I told you. That's so sweet. Never had that done before. And so we're driving, whatever. It's like a cute little mini road trip. And then we're walking and we're just like enjoying, it was so beautiful out that day.
Yeah, it was
the
perfect.
Weather was so nice. And then, we're like walking, we get to the river walk. I'm like, oh, this is so nice, whatever. And then he was like, oh, let's take some pictures. And I was like, okay. And then his phone was about to die. So I was like, okay, here, you can use my phone. And then so we're like setting up the camera, and then he starts recording. Mind you, I told him like one of the things like earlier on, I was just like, I need our proposal to be recorded. I mean, I need to have that memory forever. And he started recording, and then so I was like, hey, what are we doing? What are we doing? I knew what we were doing. I knew what was happening. And I already started tearing up because I was like, oh my God, it's happening. Like, this is happening. And then you got down on one knee and popped the question, and I said, yes. And I cried like a baby. I cried like a baby about it. But yeah, that's our engagement
That's
story.
kind of funny because there were like people like waiting to like, because they saw the phone and they were like, oh, we don't want to walk in between.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, respect, you know?
Yeah, and I think there was like, I don't know if you noticed, but there was like a couple, like an older couple, like sitting at a bench nearby.
Oh, really?
And like they were watching, and then they went like,
oh, I didn't see that.
you didn't see that? Yeah. Oh, I remember that. And
Oh.
I thought that was really cute. I thought that was super sweet. But yeah, so he also mentioned question number 9, kind of touched on that a little bit. Question number 9 is, have you ever gone on a trip together? The answer is yes, we have. It was a big family trip with my family, and we went on a cruise, and it was a lot of fun. We went to
Bermuda.
We went to Bermuda. That was like our first like real trip together. We went on a plane together, all that fun stuff.
Oh, yeah. First time I went out of the country, too.
Yeah, it's
Went to the UK, yeah?
Yeah, we went to the UK.
Technically, yeah. Because Bermuda's owned by Britain, yeah?
You know what? Cool.
God save the king, yeah? Well, because the queen's dead, so.
Oh,
God didn't save her.
rest in peace.
Shit.
But yeah, we have gone on a trip together. We do want to go on more. We're actually planning another trip to go see my best friend in October. So.
And then in 2026, the Formula One race.
Oh yeah.
I don't know which one we're gonna go to, either Miami, Vegas, or Austin.
Austin. I love Texas. So I'm team Austin. Austin, Texas.
The only thing I like about Vegas is the nighttime race. It's like that nighttime atmosphere in F1 is so sick. Especially in Vegas because of all the lights. And like one of the turns is right by the Sphere, and like those seats are actually really cheap.
Mm.
And if I could sit right by the Sphere, because it's a medium speed corner. So a lot of people crash there, and a lot of people get overtaken there.
Rock on. He's been talking about Formula One for a little bit now, which brings us to our last question. Who has the more exciting / fun hobbies?
Depends what you think fun and exciting is. If you think loud noises, fast cars, and stuff like that. Oh, Star Wars too. If you think that's more fun and exciting than Hello Kitty, blind boxes, anime. Which, I mean, like, depending on who you are, like, somebody would listen to what I like about F1 and they'd be like, that is the most boring shit I've ever heard of in my life. And then somebody would hear something about, like, what you like about Hello Kitty, like the blind boxes. They'd be like, that's the coolest and most exciting thing I've ever heard of in my life.
See, I think, like, both of us have equally exciting and fun hobbies, just in, like, different ways. You know what I mean? And, like, I've talked about this before. One of my hobbies, even though I'm not, like, I guess it's not, like, one of my active hobbies right now, but cosplaying. Like, and, you know, like, oh, you're just playing dress up. Yeah, girl. And
It's
I'm
fun.
having so much fun doing it.
Yeah, go to the Renaissance Fair. That shit
Yeah.
is so
Oh,
fun.
I want to go to the Renaissance Fair so bad. But yeah, like, you know, cosplaying can be fun. And, like, we actually cosplayed together at a convention.
Gotta throw some
like
pictures
three,
of that one.
yeah, like 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
3
Damn.
years ago, we went to our first con together. That was...
Yeah, because it would have been 2022.
Mm-hmm. Or was it 2023?
No, it might have been 23. Yeah, because we were already together for a year.
Yeah, so 2023, we went to a con together. We were Mitsuki and Obanai from Demon Slayer.
That was super fun. That was like the first time I've ever... Well, second time I've done like a proper cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
And that was super fun because I used to do steampunk at the Ren Fair.
See, like, that sounds fun too. And then, like, I, like, even though I know nothing about cars, and like I still don't really get the hype of Formula One. Sometimes like I'll watch, like he'll watch like the races and stuff like that, like when they're live streaming, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like I'm now getting like accustomed to the sound of the cars and stuff, and I'm like, I like the way that car sounds. And like I don't know, like they like also like Formula One, like, you know, does collaborations with Lego, and like, you know, the Lego sets
Disney too now.
Yeah, the Lego sets that you've gotten, like, they're cool. Hey, I think they're super cool. Yeah, it's just I feel like both of our hobbies like can be found exciting and fun in like their own ways.
I also want to get into like proper, like, I don't want to say racing, but like tracking cars, where it's just like you just drive fast around a track, not necessarily racing. That sounds fun too.
Yeah,
because it's a lot safer than racing, and it's also a little bit more family friendly. Like, I can have people in the car with me.
Yeah, and like when I open my blind boxes, oh my gosh, like, so obviously like I'll like close my eyes when I open them, and then like I'll hear
first.
Yeah, I always hear like his reactions, and he'll get excited with me and stuff. Like, oh my god, when I got the Skull Panda Winter Symphony blind box, I was like, okay, these are the ones that I want, and I told him that, and then he had gone to the bathroom while I was opening them, and then when he came back, he was like, what did you get? What did you get? And I was like, I got the one I wanted. And so like he shared my excitement with me, and like, I don't know, I feel like, and this is another couples advice thing, all right? Take part in each other's hobbies. Take part in each other's hobbies. I actually saw someone like make a video about this on TikTok. But like, take part in each other's hobbies. Like, do what the other person likes to do. Like, watch stuff that the other person likes to watch. Like, really immerse yourself in each other's interests.
Yeah,
and
at least
like,
try it.
Yeah, at least try it out.
Even
you
if
know?
you think you're not gonna like it.
Right.
Like, I never thought I would like anime. I always thought it was stupid. Like, not gonna lie. Like, growing up, I was like, it's just Japanese cartoons. Like, I'm gonna watch the American stuff, the stuff that's here. It's better anyways, right? And then we watched Chainsaw Man, and I'm like,
this is amazing.
What have I been missing out my entire life? This is way cooler. And I didn't realize I was so stupid. Pokemon, that's anime. I love that. Bakugan, that's anime. Love that. Dragon Ball Z, I used to watch that on Nicktoons. Avatar, that's the anime art style. So I've always liked it. I was just too stupid to realize that I like the Japanese stuff. I was just like, why do I want to read a cartoon? Now I realized reading cartoons, not that bad. And now I'm reading books the wrong way too.
Manga. So that is our video together. Thank you for being on my channel.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. You practically live here. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Go Fernando Alonso.
Okay.